are going to be going live.
Let's do it.
Outside the limestone warms of Shadowzar, the various thieves guilds gathered. Lean and hungry, they stood alongside Deccan and Depraved as they held for the messenger from the table. Many secret meetings in the past had assembled before the shadow of these firelit cliffs, but tonight, a new code was to be brokered between the guilds that would change the secret orders forever. The flickering and dancing flames illuminated each set of waiting eyes as their future was announced. The boy, urged on by Faroche to fist Samon, had many proclamations, but one sounded louder than the rest. No guild would ever again hunt for arcane artifacts. Shouts arose from those gathered, but none shouted louder than the Shadowbreakers, and no Shadowbreaker shouted louder than Urquhart. Away they stormed back to their hold, their guild broken by the words spoken that night. Urquhart would not fade away quietly, however, not while he still had the Staff of Wonder.
Man, can I just say that the Shadowbreaker thing that you said there with all the S's, that was a really good tongue twister. Like, that was...
Enunciation.
Yeah,
man.
You rocked it.
My favorite part was where my phone shut off halfway through the script. Hey, everybody, we're here to play some Conan. I am James, your soon-to-be GM once we start the campaign proper, which is going to be next week.
Yeah.
I'm Brad Kishba. I will be playing Kalimir.
My name is Emily. I'm going to be playing Ulrika Tervingi.
My name's Frank Bowen. I'm going to be playing Cribben, the assassin.
My name is Justin Giuliani, and I'm going to be playing Ramesh. No last name given.
No last name needed.
Yep.
So, today, we are going to be playing a little game of Microscope, a little indie RPG by Ben Robbins and Lame Mage Productions. If you're interested, you can find a link in the post notes as to where you can find it. But we are using this to set up the world and backstory for the Conan the Thief game, which is by Modifius, that we'll be starting to play next week. So we've had 2 sessions of this already. We've come up with a lot of great history, and we just got one more that we are going to cap it off with. So, does anyone feel like giving a short rundown of what Microscope is?
I feel like Emily's really good at explaining stuff.
Sure.
Here comes the bus.
So, Microscope is an RPG that everyone plays together. There's no game master. So, in Microscope, you are working together to build a shared history. And for us, we are working on the history of this thieves guild that our characters are going to be a part of. So we have the overall big picture. Out of the ashes of conflict between thieves, new factions rise. And then within that, people can add periods of time, can add events that happen within those time periods, can play out scenes within those events, and everything is either light or dark as it starts to paint this picture of this kind of shared history. So that's kind of how Microscope the game works. Each player gets to take a turn being the lens. Get it? A microscope has a lens. And focusing in on one particular aspect. And then that round, everyone's contributions have to have something to do with that aspect.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So, as you can see, we've got a good deal down already from this, and it's really provided a great framework for the campaign that's going to come. As a GM, I entered into this with, like, honestly no idea about what I was going to make this game about. Since we have started playing this Microscope, I have more ideas than I could possibly fit in this little campaign we're going to do, but damn if I'm not going to try. So, if I remember correctly, I think Frank was the last lens.
Yep.
Right.
I think Justin's the only one who hasn't been.
All right. So, yeah, Justin, that's going to put you up.
Emily, you got to be a lens right before you got shifted around on the list, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good call, buddy.
So there are 2 lenses left.
Yep.
Correct.
Cool.
So, yeah, I have a feeling we're going to get through this with everyone being a lens once.
Sounds
Makes
good.
sense.
Yeah, because otherwise
sense.
we'll be playing Microscope for the next year, which, we'll do sometime.
Then
So
we're going to
just-
start getting into fights about canon and stuff. Ooh. Yeah. So let me ask this question before I start my lensing. So the bookend things that we have, like the end of the beginning and the end with the 1,000 Hands of Fortune, offer an olive branch to the Guild of Whispers being the ending point. Am I allowed to look into that event further, or is that where we're starting in the game, so I can't touch it?
I'm not 100% what the rules say, but I think it's completely legitimate to explore, as long as we don't have a time period after that. I think we should be fine.
Okay, cool. Cool. Then I want to make a event that happens.
Well, before you do that,
Oh, right.
you're going to pick the lens for this round, and
Oh,
for anyone
Right.
keeping notes, the lens is basically it's a subject that everything we do will have to deal with that. If we make a time period, it'll have to deal with that lens in some way. If we make an event, if we make a scene, they're all going to have to deal with that lens.
okay. Then I want my focus to be on the Guild of Whispers and what they're like and what our relationship is with them. Since we did the olive branch with them.
That sounds completely reasonable.
Cool.
So, what do we know about the Guild of Whispers so far?
I think it's been, as far as I know, we've only chatted about it. We haven't actually put anything to paper about them, to digital paper. Excuse me.
Well,
but
we have
yeah,
a little bit. Urquhart rallies a splinter faction of the Shadowbreakers, who had gone underground at this point, to form the Guild of Whispers and declares the Thieves Code anathema.
Oh, right. Okay.
This was before Ramesh came into town slinging snake oil, so
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
Ramesh
wouldn't-
knows about it.
Yeah, of course I forgot because that happened before me. So why would I need to remember?
Right, exactly.
So okay then. Is Urquhart the current leader of the Guild of Whispers then?
Thus far, yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that the first event that kind of like gets our foot in the door with the Guild of Whispers is the Hands of Fortune help move a magical artifact. Excuse me. A lesser decorative magical artifact. They use their whisper contact. Our Trish Rusker.
Good old Artrish.
Yeah. Oh, man, I can never just do this right. Come on. Head in the game, Justin.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Fuck all this. I'm out. No.
And so that concludes our third game with Justin. It's been a fun run.
Okay, and then I can do a second thing within that, right? Because I am the lens.
Yeah, as the lens, you can nest things together.
Cool. Do I have to do a second thing?
Nope. You can call it good, too.
Yeah, I'm okay with that for right now.
All right. So
I want to see where that goes.
Just a reminder of why these
and
things...
this is a good thing. This helps us establish our contacts later. So I'm going to say this is a happiness.
So, just some thoughts on why this statement matters. So the 1,000 Hands of Fortune are it's a thieves guild made up of remnants of other thieves guild that was kind of solidified when their storefront opened, when Ramesh rolled into town and started the storefront. So that's where the player characters are a part of right now. Other things in a sentence, helping to move a lesser decorative magical artifact. So during a meeting of all the thieves guilds, after a basically slaughter in the streets to help it never happen again, it was deemed illegal as part of new thieves code, for anyone to deal in arcane artifacts. So this is interesting, because this means that both sides were involved in a breach, which isn't too surprising from the Guild of Whisper standpoint, because from what we know about them, they're being run by a... I don't know, how would anyone describe Urquat?
Vengeful, competent monster.
Yeah, that sounds good. So the fact that they're doing this olive branch and doing it in this manner is super interesting.
I feel like there's definitely some ulterior motives going on, but we'll find out.
Right.
Oh, what's Emily got for us on this?
The Guild of Whispers, huh?
Uh-huh. It's, we know how they started, but we don't know much else.
Uh-huh.
So, and I'll be up next. I guess I should start thinking about this. Yeah, I got some ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that this is going to be an event underneath Urquat starting the Guild of Whispers. That the lords of Shadazar make a pronouncement that despite what you may have heard, or despite the kind of factions within the thieves underworld, they consider that the code still stands, and will take action against code breakers if necessary.
Huh. And I'm sorry, where's this going at again?
So this is going underneath the Urquhart rallies a splinter faction of the Shadowbreakers to form the Guild of Whispers and declares the Thieves' Code anathema. So I'm thinking, like, in response to the Thieves' Code, this kind of declaration, that there's kind of a counter declaration from the powers that be that's like, okay, you can do that, but be warned that it's gonna, that it might come back to bite you.
Pretty much saying, like, the Guild of Whispers is in, like, open rebellion.
Yeah. At that point, anyway. Who knows? Between then and later on, things we could have things change as we develop this.
Yeah, and I'm still really curious what happened to the rest of the Shadowbreakers that didn't stick around to form the Guild of Whispers.
Well, Frank did establish, I think it was Frank, right? Did establish that one of them, at least one of them, is now part of the Thousand Hands.
Yeah, truth.
Mm-hmm.
Create the Thousand Hands of Fortune out of remnants of the Shadowbreakers. So there's some of them active there.
Yeah, and there's even the part where it says, you were trying to start the guild, right, Ulrika? Isn't that somewhere in there?
Yeah, that I broke away from the Shadowbreakers, but might be willing to get roped back in.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like it all happened at the same time. Like, you broke away from the Shadowbreakers just as Ranesh came into town, and it was a perfect storm. Excellent. Well, I think I'm going to have an event. And where do we want to put that? Okay, so underneath the time period where the Thousand Hands of Fortune are establishing their storefront. So I'm imagining that the storefront's set up, and you know, it seems like there would have been tensions between the Guild of Whispers and the Thousand Hands. Otherwise, why wouldn't Olive Branch have to be sent forth? So, thinking about maybe what changed that. I'm gonna say that. Let's see, who should bring the news? Oh, obviously the Fist, our kind of independent agent, former thief, and we decided the Fist was also part of the Town Watch. Is that true, or is he captain of the Town Watch?
I think we said he was the captain of the Shadowzar Watch.
He's the captain of Shadowzar Watch.
Mm-hmm.
And help me out, somebody. What's his full name?
His
Feroce
name,
the Fist.
Feroche?
he had a full name.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Yeah, it was Feroce the Fist something.
Zurban or Zurbez? No,
No, that's your uncle. Or
that's
something.
my uncle. Yeah.
I think it was only written next to Frank's name for a hot second when it was
Yeah.
or to Brad, whoever was playing him last time. The
Yeah.
Fist.
Is
Yeah,
it
I got lost.
El Fist. Yeah.
It's Feroce.
Feast?
It'll be Feroce the Fist for now. So, Feroce the Fist brings news that Urquhart has seemingly disappeared, and no one is being very upfront as to what that means.
Disappeared.
And that instead, you are meeting with the not the Shadowbreakers, the Guild of Whispers is being represented by a council of 3 now.
Ooh.
So Feroce just informs the Thousand Hands of Fortune that Urquhart has disappeared, and the Guild of Whispers is currently being governed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Governed by a council of 3.
Yep.
And I've changed my mind. It's not going to be a council of 3. It's going to be the council of 3.
Oh.
Nice.
That's how they want to be addressed. So it
Everybody's
looks like
all about making the something groups in this game. Like
the
we're
table,
table,
the council
the
of
council.
3,
Yeah.
the
Like
thousand hands of Philip.
Like that's the only way to get stuff done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sure you guys tried out 1,000 hands of fortune until you realize you're the only one. And we're like, yeah, okay, we're then until someone else comes along to contest this.
We are the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be referred to as the Ulrika from now on.
Don't tempt me. Cool. So next up is going to be Brad. And Frank, you're going to be after that. Well, we're just speeding right along on this round.
Yeah.
I am going to create a period
Oh.
Oh.
before the olive branch, after the establishment of our storefront,
Ooh la la.
after Urquhart disappears. So we're talking about a reason why an olive branch was extended to the Guild of Whispers.
I don't know that
And
we talked about
I'm
it.
thinking, well, no. You brought up the question.
Right, okay.
that we need to answer.
Gotcha.
I love the idea of moles, and not the cute creatures that tunnel underneath your house and destroy your foundation. I mean the spy kind. I love espionage, and I'd love to see that the Hands of Fortune was infiltrated by the Guild of Whispers.
Oh.
Because I mean, what else does the Guild of Whispers do?
That's true.
Well, they whisper. There's that.
Yeah.
Bitch, someone's. Thought we had such good security too.
No, they're just rumors. They just spread rumors.
Oh.
Rumor
We're-
mongers.
Mm.
The worst.
Did you hear that?
We're still new.
Jerry
We'll
from
tighten up
down the
security.
street is sleeping with his best friend's wife.
Classic
Is it great,
Jerry.
man?
Classic Guild of Whispers.
Yep.
So are you saying it's it's rumored that they infiltrated the guild? Or the Thousand Hands, rather? It's rumored that the Thousand Hands infiltrated the guild?
No, I don't. No, I don't think it's a rumor. It's suspected by whom?
And what about that says, we should offer an olive branch?
Well, no, it's a period. I'm creating a period. So,
oh, okay.
I'm liking the idea of maybe, since we have a storefront created, maybe a Cold War type setting where, missions are foiled, but and it's unknown how they're happening. I'm trying to. How can I type this out? Okay. The Thousand Hands of Fortune. Run into a series of misfortune.
Unfortunate events.
Yeah. Oh.
When there's 1,000 hands and they're all full of fortune, it can't all be good.
Exactly. One of those hands is unfortunate. So the Thousand Hands, they run into a series of unfortunate events where heists are foiled, ambushes are ambushed, Yeah, like
Somebody's counter ambushing my ambush.
exactly.
Someone's one step ahead of us.
Yes. Okay. And does anyone know a better way of writing this?
All right.
The thousand hands of fortune enter a downturn that seems to be the result of moles and leaked information.
Beautiful.
Internal
you, Frank.
sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
And for a small period of about 3 hours tonight, Brad doesn't know vocabulary. Or how to
So
put
where
them
are we
together.
at in that 3-hour period? Just so I can kind of gauge.
It's right after you dropped all of your electronic equipment.
Oh. Okay, so maybe right before we started to broadcast, I knocked my microphone on the floor. Hey, you know.
Frank, you just want to type what out what you said.
My computer's actually still chopped till tomorrow.
Okay. Dictate again.
I'm starting to get
Run to
bothered by it.
Downturn of misfortune, James.
Well, would a downturn of misfortune be fortune? You know.
Oh,
Yeah, double negative there.
How about a
Yeah,
series
Just
of
a
misfortunes?
downturn in business.
Yeah, a series of misfortunes.
there we go.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna settle with
We're just gonna argue about vocabulary here, guys.
in episode 4. We actually get out a dictionary and just read to you. It's gonna be great. So the Thousand Hands of Fortune run into a series of misfortunes that seem to be the result of moles and infiltrators. Hey, we got through that together.
thank you for the help, guys.
All right, so next up is going to be... And that's probably going to be negative, I imagine, huh?
Yes. Let me highlight that.
All right, Frank, so you are going to be up.
Something with the Guild of Whispers.
And then, Justin, you're going to get to finish it. And
Okay.
nest again if you want to, or not nest, as
Ooh.
you desire.
All right.
Let me just refresh my little tablet here.
There's still a lot of question of how did we get from here to there, you know?
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, we're...
Hmm.
Like, getting from the Guild of Whispers, potentially infiltrating the Thousand Hands, and, messing things up to, hey, do you guys want to be friends? Let's steal a thing together.
Right? Yeah, how do we get there, you know?
I'm almost thinking it might have something to do with Urquhart. It's kind of my thought. I was almost thinking sometime in that period, Brad just created something maybe like Urquhart reemerges with his own guild called something like the Guild of the Staff Bearer or something. And when he emerges, there's like a rift created in the Guild of Whispers, and a bunch of them leave to go join him.
What's a lot of splitter cells?
Yeah, right? Which is, at this point, approximately 2 people.
It's probably like 10 guys, you know?
Yeah.
And then they got some goons, you know?
Urquhart's like that guy in high school that was in every club.
Yeah, right? Because he started the Guild of Whispers, too, right?
Hmm.
Yes.
And then he just disappeared the one day.
Leaving the Council of Three. The Council of Three.
It's an event in that new period. Urquhart reemerges with as the leader of the Guild of the Staff Bearer, and when he does, a bunch of whispers and even some people from the other guilds all join him, thinking he's some kind of badass or something.
All right, so the way I'm going to write that up is Urquhart reemerges as the leader of the Guild of Staff Bearers, drawing rogues from many other guilds. Now, this is totally unorthodox. This is nowhere in the rules of Microscope. So if you all want to shoot this down, totally cool.
It's not nice.
You can
Ready
no.
for
I'm
that?
sorry.
We're
Frank,
changing the rules to.
Frank, not what you said. What you said
I
stays.
don't like what he said, so it needs to.
What I'm about to say. Let's put it that way. You know,
It was a precursor. Okay.
yeah, this was a precursor to what's about to happen.
Great.
Like, sometimes someone needs to put baby in the corner, and I might be baby in this spot here. But I think we should, because it's not my turn, so I have no power over this, and I don't want to take away from anyone else's turn to tell them what to do. But I think we should do a scene here, because I have a question that I really want answered.
Well, maybe get to my end turn and we'll see what happens.
Okay. This is James chilling this shit.
Yeah, how about we play the way Lame Mage wants us to play?
No.
Jeez.
Oh, he's gone rogue.
All right, just one more episode. One more episode
What's
to
your-
our GM.
James is going to go form a smaller podcast in this podcast.
We're splitting off into different guilds
The
here.
splinter groups are just getting out of control here.
I'm just curious. What's your question you want answered?
I'm gonna let Justin go first. Who knows? Maybe he'll answer it.
Yeah. So there, I have the option to just say, like, here's a scene that's happening without having to make people play it out, correct? Like, I can be like, oh, this is a thing. Okay.
Yes, but so you have to how do words work? You still have to answer a question, right?
Okay.
So you can ask your own question and then narrate the answer yourself.
Okay. So, I really like this scene of him, like, reemerging, and I'm sure there's, like, some big grandiose entrance in somewhere. So I'm gonna do I guess this is more like a setup for something, but I'm just gonna do it and you guys can tell me to stop or not, whatever. Here we go. Okay, so
Baby needs to be in the corner.
this is Urquhart actively uses the Staff of Wonder without it appearing to draw his life force.
Oh, ho, ho.
And then, so with that in mind, I do want to do a scene where Urquhart reemerges. The question that I'm going to be asking is, what happens when Urquhart makes his big entrance back in? Does he retake over, or does he just kind of be more like, I started my own guild, shut up, bye? You know what I mean? like what's his stance with these guys now, basically? Is that too many questions? It's like 5 questions.
Yeah, that's about 5.
Yeah, okay. So I guess the question is, what is Urquhart's stance with the Guild of Whispers after this event?
All right, and you plan on narrating it? True story?
Narrating? No. My narrating was him using the Staff of Wonder without appearing to draw his life force. I want the scene to
okay.
be actually played out. This is I'm doing 2 scenes, I guess. Picking 2 scenes. Yeah. So this scene is going to answer the question, what is Urquhart's stance after he reemerges? What is Urquhart's stance on the Guild of Whispers after he reemerges? And I'm going to say that. Let's see, how many people? 5. Okay, so within this scene, because I can declare like characters and stuff like that. Correct?
Yeah. Okay, let's do it by the books.
Do I need to slow down? Okay.
Let's see.
I'm
So
ready
you
to go.
stated the
I'm raring.
question. You decided where to put the scene in history. So review the pertinent facts of what we already know. What should we know here?
Okay, so the pertinent facts is Urquhart formed the Council of 3 to run the Guild of Whispers, and then left under very mysterious circumstances. So the Guild of 3, or the Council of 3, I'm sorry, the Council of 3 has grown really accustomed to running things, and probably doesn't want Urquhart back.
That seems reasonable, but is that factual? Is that what we definitely
Yes,
know?
that is factual. Is this what I'm setting up the scene, right? This is what I'm telling you about
more so
things
like,
we need to going into this, or facts that we've already written down. I'm
right,
confused.
that.
Sorry.
Right now we're like facts we already written down, and next up we're going to set up the scene a bit.
Man, I am jumping the gun. I apologize, everyone. So we know that Urquhart has gone and reappeared and made the Council of 3, and we know that he has the Staff of Wonder.
I don't think Urquhart created the Council of 3. When he disappeared, the new leadership of the Guild of Whispers is the Council of 3.
Oh, okay,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and he may have
So
created
that's what
it.
I
we don't know.
Yeah. Did he create it, Crane? You're the one that put the Council of 3 rule in there. So
I didn't write it, so it's up in the air. You know.
Okay.
I guess yeah.
Yeah.
And the way I envisioned that when I was writing it was not so much as an absolute thing, but more so what the rumor was that was given to the Thousand Hands of Fortune. So it's whatever we make of it from there, cool. But it's more Feroce the Fist just tells you this. How much of it's true? What happened to make it so? Meh.
Okay.
All right, so we've reviewed some facts. So now we're going to go with where is the scene happening? Why is it happening? What just happened? What's happening next? Describe where the scene physically takes place and what's going on. Are the characters here for a reason? Is there something they intend to do? What happened just before it? Are there specific if there are specific incidents implied in the event description or the question, say whether this is before or after. So now it's kind of like, what are we looking at? What's the scene like?
So this sets up place in what was formerly the Council of Whispers meeting room, now the Council of 3 meeting room within the Guild of Whispers. This has been after the Council of 3 has been established for a little while. So they've gotten kind of in the swing of running stuff. This isn't like the day after or anything. And like I said before, they've gotten really used to running things around here and kind of don't want to give it up. Otherwise, they're at a normal, just kind of standard morning minutes meeting when this starts. So Urquhart's entrance in here is going to be very unexpected, obviously.
Okay. So the characters involved in this are going to be...
So necessary characters are going to be Urquhart, obviously, and then we need 3 people on the Council of 3. So whatever their names are going to be. Do I need to make them up, or can I have people make them up as they go?
You can have people make them up.
Okay. So, if you want to play a member of the Council of 3, you need to make up who that person is, but we need 3 council members.
Okay.
And Urquhart.
So that's
4 people.
4 people.
So the last person can be whatever. And I'm going to say, because of what it seems like our stances are within this thing, no characters from no player characters.
Cool. That's a great ban.
Yep.
All right. So
the last character is a wild card. It can be whatever, but not a player character.
who is right before you? Because we're going to pick character first. Do. All right, so Frank, you are going to pick your character first.
All right. I think I'll be a council member.
And to note that,
Oh,
I'm just going to
isn't it?
write whatever name you pick of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Of the three.
Um, Jarvis.
Jarvis of the three. All right, Brad.
I'll be playing Shenzhen of the three.
Shenzhen of the three. Not to be a cheap hack, but y'all, I'm sticking with Urquhart.
That's fair.
Cool.
Nice.
Yep.
What do you got, Emily?
I'm going to play Lady Kareem, who is a member of the table and maybe a kind of part of the kind of ruling elite of Shadazar.
Lady what?
Kareem.
Sorry. Just saw your...
So that means I will be the last member of the three. I will be... Oh, where'd I go? Hi. Okay, way down there. Back up. Work computer, I promise. All right. Fisk of the three.
Cool. All right, so we have
Great.
characters picked. So now we are going to go around the table, and everyone is going to reveal some thoughts their characters are happening. Thoughts their
Okay.
characters are having.
Who do we start with?
Let's see. Looks like it goes the start to the right of the player making the scene and continue to the right. So you made the scene, so it'll go... Frank, you're going to start by giving us... What's Jarvis thinking?
Jarvis. Where are we in this timeline exactly?
We're in the Urquhart reemerges part towards the end of the timeline.
Say, Jarvis. I mean, I guess they're all sitting there. They probably didn't really expect Urquhart to roll in, but we'll say Jarvis has been he's kind of been not really into fighting with the other guilds and stuff, and he doesn't really like that they're tampering with the other guilds and stuff, and he's almost not into the idea of moles. He would be kind of someone that would receive the olive branch, if it were handed to him, and he's just kind of at a point where maybe there's a bigger fish to fry kind of thing.
So it's been pretty rough ever since the Temple of Mitra sent out all the different guilds to steal the Staff of Wonder. So it sounds like Jarvis is just sick of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's over
it's
it.
like just like what is all this, man? It's got to be easier,
Yeah.
And then Urquhart rolls in, and he's just like, "Oh man, are you serious?" Yeah.
We're still here, huh?
Like
this
this
is
now?
still what we're doing. Okay. All right. That is Jarvis. So Shenzhen.
Shenzhen. Shenzhen is stoic, quiet, and he was kind of enjoying his seat on the top and the many benefits that it comes with. So he is reluctant to hand over the reins again. Even though, have we decided that it was set up yet, or
That
like
what was set up.
were they chosen by Urquhart before he left?
No, we did
No,
not
we
decide
don't know.
I mean, this can be decided at any point in game. You know, if you suddenly tell me you were thinking it was cool that he chose you, hey, it's canon.
Okay. So yeah, he's just reluctant to hand back over the reins.
Cool.
All right, so Urquhart is very, very different from everything we've seen from Urquhart thus far. Whereas Urquhart in the earlier scene was full of barely restrained anger, Urquhart's thoughts right now are a pool of still water, not a single ripple going across its surface. And he's really, the only thing he is thinking is, it's not so much ambition or desire. He is thinking that all the guilds will unite under him, but more so like that's just what's happening. You know, not like I want this to happen, I'm gonna make this happen. More like, yeah, this is just the way things are gonna work. Like he looked up and saw some clouds on the horizon and was like, yeah, it looks like rain, you know. But it's devoid of any real, there's nothing fiery about it anymore, let's put it that way. So that's Urquhart's thoughts. What do you got, Lady Kareem?
Lady Kareem was here meeting with the Council of Three, as kind of a representative from the table, just, you know, doing the routine checking in and that kind of relationship maintenance, keeping the table's whims on the forefront of the guild's minds. And now she's the first person from the table to see Urquhart back in some time now, and she's really excited about it. This is a very intriguing piece of news, and she looks forward to playing it to her advantage.
Ambitious Lady Kareem.
Absolutely.
So Visk of the three is the numbers guy. He only cares about positive margins and stuff like that. Has much less of a mind for all this thievery and thuggery and stuff that goes on. It is much more about books and ledgers and stuff like that. So he's kind of a pushover with a lot of things, but he's also the only person that can really do all the calculations and stuff. So a lot of times people have to ask him for things, I guess. In terms of Urquhart, he's definitely not pleased that he's back. He's reckless, and that's not financially responsible.
Excellent. So,
I like it.
Thoughts are revealed, and I think that means we're ready to go. All right, so I'm gonna start out with a little bit of I'm gonna start out with a push.
Oof.
Right.
Ooh, right off the bat.
I know.
Jeez.
I just have this view of how this scene starts that I kind of want to throw out there. And the push is basically gonna be that Urquhart enters this room, but when Urquhart enters this room, he's followed by probably about like 24 acolytes, and whereas this game has been largely roguish-looking thieves. These acolytes are shaved head, brilliantly white robes around themselves in a very formal formation. So that's going to be my push. Now, everyone else can put in counter proposals, too. Anyone else have anything that they think would be cooler than this?
I think that's pretty rad.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
When I first thought of him breaking away, I actually wanted to call it the Cult of the Staff Bear.
Oh, what'd you stick
kinda
with? I thought
like-
you went with that.
Oh, no, the Guild of Staff Bears
Yep.
was what was written.
Okay, that's legitimate. All right, anyone else? Anyone want to challenge that?
I mean, I think
So,
I'm cool.
where last we saw Urquhart was in that scene by the fire, where he was this, like, large, hulking beast of a man with, like, a constantly red face, and, like, looks like he's always kind of, like, huffing, right? And since he left, like, miraculous transformation has happened in him. He's a lot more slender. His complexion is incredibly clear. His demeanor is very calm, and he looks very much at rest. So it's like his personality just kind of did a 180, right?
Yep.
All right. So that's my view of his entrance.
So are we starting this from your end? Are we taking this from your entrance, or are we taking it from like a couple minutes before your entrance, so you can have the grand opening of the doors and stuff?
Well, my push was from the entrance, but if anyone wants to
Okay.
counter push and say that it happens before that, we could do that.
No, I'm just
I'm cool with that.
want to know if you wanted some build up to your entrance or not. That's all.
All right. So in the stream, or quad at the forefront, in the middle of your morning meetings, morning minutes.
I throw down the ledger that I was reading and talking about last meeting's minutes and say, "What is the meaning of this?"
Lady
Urquhart?
Kareem gets this kind of slow smile across her face and says, "Oh, Urquhart, my dear, you haven't looked so good in ages. And what's this? You have followers these days?"
Brothers and sisters, I have returned. The journey has been long, and I have seen many things. But I have realized much, and I have changed. He takes the staff in both hands and holds it overhead. It is true. This is the Staff of Wonders. And unlike any before, I have tamed it.
Impossible.
Blasphemy! You had it this whole time?
Blasphemy? No, Senjen. Blasphemy is our lives here in Shadazar. This is a holy city. This has always been a holy city. The rats have rose out of the gutters to take it over and gnaw away at the edges of civilization here. But now, the gods return, and they send me to herald their coming.
You call us rats?
We built you, and I assure you, this city can tear you down just as easily.
What do you mean you've tamed the staff? Jarvis just scoffs.
And this is when that calm pool of water, like a little drop falls into it and sends the ripple out to its edges. as anyone paying close enough attention notices Urquhart almost begin to smile. Can you feel it? Can you feel its power, Jarvis of the Three? And he knocks the bottom of the staff onto the tile floors of this room. And nothing too spectacular happens except the way the tap resonates throughout the room. It's almost like it almost like echoes as if in an auditorium and brings a slight unease and quiet to the council members assembled.
Jarvis is just staring at the staff in awe. Like,
this is hypocrisy. You're just as bad as the Shadowbreakers once were if you're going to use that staff to try to wield power over other people.
No.
You're nothing without that staff.
We are all nothing, Fisk. We are all nothing without the gods. The temples. The temples will ring with prayers again. I will turn thieves into acolytes. I will turn houses of ill repute back into houses of worship. The smoggy skies under the cookfires will grow clear again. So clear that you can see the gods look down on you from the heavens as I have seen them. In every star, in the sunrise, I can hear them on the breeze. I have been in the forgotten places of this city, deep underground in the tombs and the dungeons, and I have heard whisperings there, ancient whisperings. And they have foretold what will happen now. The gods return to all of Zamora, but they will reign supreme in Shadazar.
We have priests, we have temples, we have a city built on its foundations of order and of authority. Who are you to claim that you're going to upset all that we have worked for?
Don't you see? You're but ants. Ants on a countertop, easily brushed aside.
Shenzhen, as things like, there's a period of silence as his words, settle in. Shenzhen breaks out in laughter. It's, surely he's joking. This is not the Urquhart we know. Come, friend, join us at the table. Tell us where you've been.
As Shenzhen starts laughing, Jarvis just stands up, staring at the staff still this whole time, and just starts slowly walking towards Urquhart. Almost as if he's like possessed by his words.
This is madness. Can we please have some order in this chamber? All of a sudden, people can just walk in. Where are the guards that are supposed to be watching this? We are trying to do the minutes here, and this is just madness. You've always been a madman, and you're still a madman.
I have never seen things more clear, Fisk.
Said the madman.
And the guards sought to stop progress. They tried to stay in the way of the new legion. The guild of the staff bearers will bring the new way. And he takes 3 heavy steps forward, almost right into Jarvis, and his voice raises considerably, but not in anger. But it does boom as he says the words, "Is this your will? You will not follow the new order?" And the staff tip hits the ground again, creating that same resonating tap off the tiles.
Jarvis falls to his knees right when Urquhart taps the staff to the ground.
He gazes at Shenzhen Fisk and Lady Kareem.
I stand defiantly.
Shedjen's eyes narrow, and his hand goes to his dagger, ready to whip it in a moment's notice, as he's done many times before.
Lady Kareem kind of leans back in her chair and makes a dismissive motion with her hand.
As I was saying, we finally had our first profitable quarter this year. With some moles in all of our major competitions, we should be able to be the forefront, well, not being the forefront as true Guild of Whispers style. Oh, are you still here?
A little bit of a smile does creep across Urquhart's face now. A very gentle smile. And his left hand reaches down and softly brushes the brow of Jarvis. And he feels Jarvis, if this is okay with Jarvis, quake slightly under the touch.
It's okay.
And he's...
Consensual mind taking.
Not an okay touch.
His smile fades, and he goes back to the same look he had when he came in there. And not removing his hand from Jarvis's head, he raises his staff high in the air. You will need any allies you can. Bring them all out. Unite the rats. Let them flood into the streets. For when the waters come, all will drown. And he's moving the staff in a circular motion. And he suddenly turns and just begins to walk back out of the chambers, the acolytes following.
Jarvis stands up and slowly starts walking out.
Shenzhen throws a dagger. It comes so... It looks as though it's so close to being aimed directly at Urquhart that there might even be a worry that it's going to hit him, but it was really meant to just scare him. Like over the doorway as he's walking out. Just above his head.
Jarvis turns around and pulls out a knife lightning quick and throws it at Shenzhen.
Who, not suspecting it, takes it in the shoulder.
Huh?
Do not stand in the way of the gods, Jarvis says, and then he turns around and keeps walking out.
Oh.
Whoa.
Find out who we have left after this little show. Then we need to get our revenge. The end.
Yeah, I think we figured out where he stands, huh?
Yeah.
Can someone say big bad for the game?
Actually, this game's going to totally revolve around the corpse of Gandon Main. No, wait, what's that his name?
That's the game.
Getting Maine. No, not Getting Maine. My favorite NPC from a game.
You know who's the real villain is?
The friends we made along the way.
No. The messenger.
The messenger.
The
Oh,
young
man.
kid.
You gotta kill the messenger.
Always.
It was the messenger all along. God damn it. He was right there in the council chamber, too. Alright.
All right, so
And it's now the Council of Two.
that was Justin.
I hand the lens to Emily.
So before that happens,
Nope.
Criven is going to figure out a legacy.
Oh, right.
Or Frank. Future Criven.
Legacy.
Good scene, by the way.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that felt like it got somewhere, huh?
Agreed.
So, and just a reminder of what a legacy is for everybody. After each round, the player to the right or before the acting lens, gets to choose a legacy, and then they make either an event or a narrated scene about any of the legacies that are currently on the table. So legacies are like an object, or a person, or something specific that you want to be able to revisit in the future. So far, we have Justin's legacy was the Staff of Wonders, and my legacy was Kill Your Hero. So whatever legacy that Frank ends up creating or picking is...
I think there's one more legacy, right?
Yeah, Brad
Squad
picked
of
Squad of
Fangs.
Fangs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
right.
Squad
Okay.
of Fangs.
Which I realized later is the Guild of Hands.
Oh, is that what the Squad of Fangs
Yeah,
was?
we kind of like doubled up. I think I went after you, and didn't catch that.
All right.
I'm sure they have a good reason to have more than one name, right?
Right.
Tax breaks.
Misdirection.
Um,
Oh no, you want the squad? The Guild of Hands. They're down the street.
and also,
This is the Squad of Fangs.
just a heads up for anyone listening, if they want to keep all this straight. After this game, we're going to make this document one of the rewards for Patreon subscribers. So you'll get to read through all of the Microscope goodness at your leisure. If you're interested, you can subscribe at www.patreon.com/crumblingkeep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. So, I think for legacy, I'd almost like to say something like the formation of our guild, or just like maybe just our guild, the Thousand Hands of Fortune. Just kind of like, I don't know how it operates, more about how it was actually started, and you know.
So the one thing about legacies I didn't mention is it does have to deal with something that happened in this turn that just happened.
Okay.
So like it could be like the cult of the staff or something. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the cult of the staff bears, or
Yeah.
Yeah, can we just call it Cult of the Staff Bearer?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
the guild comes up too much. It's the guild of this and the guild of that. Yeah, needs to be a little more original,
Pretty soon everyone's gonna have a guild.
right?
Cult of the Staff Bearer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds legit, as only one person is bearing the staff.
But the other members all wear white and carry quarterstaffs
Yes!
Yeah.
and like beat your ass with quarterstaffs and stuff if you have to deal with them. Yeah.
Yeah, keep giving me more enemies. That's good.
Yep, there you go.
I'll say for the
But they-
legacy. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. I was
The legacy.
yeah, so
Let's say for legacy, maybe the moles and assassinations. Like, you know, more information on maybe how we were infiltrated, and you know, more information on all the coups that happened and stuff like that, and I don't know, something like that.
Alright, so your legacy is going to be moles and assassinations. That is totally legit. So now, you need to pick from any of the legacies, that being Kill Your Hero, Squad of Fangs, the Moles and Assassinations, or Staff of Wonders, and you have to make either an event about one of those, or a narrated scene. And also, I'd just like to say, Aaron in the chat suggested the Guild of Guilds. Yo, dog, I heard you like guilds.
It's just one old guy that keeps a list and location of every single guild in case you get lost.
All right, so what were the legacies again?
So we got Kill Your Heroes, Squad of Fangs, The Moles and Assassinations, and Staff of Wonders.
Mm.
All right. So we decided that Feroce the Fist is the captain of the Shadowzar Watch, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Say an event after Urquhart reemerges that Feroce the Fist is assassinated.
Whoa.
Man, I
Whoa.
liked that guy.
I will remember you.
The heroes were killed. Holy shit, Feroce is dead.
Damn.
Okay.
Freaking-
Wow.
I'm sorry, I was so shocked that I don't even know. That was after Urquhart reemerged?
Mhm.
So is that like after the scene we just had, basically?
Yeah, so sometime after that.
Whoa.
Right? That's heavy.
Sorry, guys. I like hardcore
Damn.
twists.
That's legit.
No one's safe.
Alright, and so that is going to be an event. I got it in there. Okay, well,
You did?
now that no one feels okay about themselves,
I assume it was mysterious circumstances that people don't know who did it.
and I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you damn kids.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, but strangely, he had a lot of quarterstaff shaped welts in his head.
All over his body. Covered in holy water.
I have this one bowl that has like little ridges in it to hold chopsticks, and I just kind of imagine I imagine the fist is kind of like that right now, but with quarterstaffs.
But he was killed in the quarterstaff factory. It looks like he backed into a shelf full of quarterstaffs and they all fell on him.
That's why we tell people they shouldn't go to the staff district after night.
Yep. Always have a staff guide on staff.
All right, so Emily, you are going to be the lens, so you get to decide what lens we are all viewing this from this turn, and you also get to create things, perhaps two,
How
if you
about,
so desire.
How about we take a quick break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice intermission.
Okay,
Yep.
that sounds legitimate. Let's see. I didn't really think to get any intermission things ready today, so
Twiddle your thumbs, everyone.
yeah. I'll just
Frank's gonna play the spoons.
Yep.
here's some more of
I
that.
actually do have my guitar.
Yeah.
Here's some more of that great intro song that was happening earlier that no one that's playing this game can actually hear.
Great.
I mean, eventually, as soon as I remember where I saved it.
Hey, once again, just want to tell everyone you can support us at patreon.com/crumbleandkeep, or you can visit crumbleandkeep.com for more information about what we do and how we do it.
And we'll talk more about the podcast in a bit. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Follow us on Twitter. All right. Yeah.
All right, thank you everyone for your patience.
Hi, James. I'm back.
Oh, hey, Emily. Hey.
What's going on?
Oh, just dreaming about our upcoming podcast that's coming out in 4 days.
What?
Yeah, maybe you've heard of it. It's called Crumbling Keep Presents The Isles of Samsaris, and it's going to be available on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and most of your other favorite podcast apps. And heck, if you have a favorite podcast app it's not available on, you let us know and we will fix that. It's a D&D actual play podcast that will sound more like an audio drama. Heavily edited, so all you have is things that move the story forward, and some great audio candy for your ears.
Yeah.
Good
It's
role playing
pretty...
and
Go for it, Frank.
That's all I had.
It is some
Good
good role playing
role-playing and stuff.
I've been re-listening to some episodes lately, and they were just some good scenes.
I just feel like it's so, having been involved or seen the podcast in progress since it started, it's pretty amazing to think about that it's finally going to be released. That you've been working on it for some time now, and now you're ready to send it off into the world. It's pretty damn cool.
My little baby's all grown up.
I know, it's ready to spread its wings and fly from the nest.
And it's funny because as it's coming up and I'm like listening to old episodes and everything, like I'm not so much thinking about like, oh, how's season 1 gonna go? I'm more thinking like, oh, I can think of all the things I want to do for season 2. The things I haven't started. Plus, there's talks about a season 1.5, but
Oh.
Ooh.
that's in the works. That might be something. That might be something special.
1.5.
1.5.
Samsaris, the remix.
Just say that it might be a little mini series that of sorts that follows my favorite NPC after the events of season 1.
Nice.
God, I wish I was Chips. I wish I was talking about Chips right now. Alright, so Justin, you're here. Frank, you're here. Emily, you're here. I'm here. Brad, you here? All
Doesn't
right.
sound like it.
Doesn't sound like there's a Brad. So let's see. Who is actually up?
I am.
Emily would be up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure.
Are we back? Are we officially back already?
No, we're waiting for Brad still.
Well, I mean, we're broadcasting, so we're back as it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We never really left.
Oh, all right.
We'll always be with you.
Oh, that's so touching.
No, not like in a touching way, like in a God, I just want you to leave me alone way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just like everyone else, I get it. So can I have a? Are we going to start with Emily's turn, or are we waiting for Brad?
I feel like we could start with Emily's turn, unless anyone has anything they want to discuss or anything first.
I mean, I had a question, not about this game, but just something to kill time with if we wanted to.
By all means, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know James is a DM. Frank, are you a DM, or have you DM'd in the past?
I never have DM before, actually. I've actually been playing for some time. It'd be fun to. I actually bought that Tales from the Yawning Portal for D&D 5.
Oh, nice.
I bought that to one day do just because it seems like simple enough. It's just like classic campaigns, and there's actually a lot of cool like extra stuff in it too, and some of
Right
the other
on.
D&D books.
I haven't checked that one out yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's pretty cool. It
so-
has the Tomb of Horrors in it. That's the main reason I bought it.
Oh, nice. Okay, so Emily, have you ever DM'd?
Yes, I'm in the midst of running a Lamentations of the Flame Princess campaign
Nice.
right now.
Oh my god,
Okay.
it's so delightfully weird.
So recently I've been taking, I also DM, so I've recently been taking to using celebrities as NPCs. And I want to know if you guys think this is a cool practice or not. Like the other day I had a thing and I was like, and she's played by Kathy Bates in her heavier years, like when she was in Mama's or The Water Boy and stuff like that. But things like that. So or like Darius Rucker made an appearance. So I want to know, is that a cop out for to use celebrities as NPCs, or is it a cool way to get your players to all be like, oh, okay, I can picture that person.
Oh,
I mean, I'm in, as I imagine many of us are, I'm in a fair amount of RPG theme related Facebook groups. And when I asked for DM advice, I think one of the lines that stuck with me most was, you have to be fun, you don't necessarily have to be original. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that. Like, if everybody is on board and it moves things along in a way that people are able to picture it, laugh about it, have a good time, then maybe you can just roll with it.
Right on. I'm into it. Because I mean the other thing too is now I'm starting to picture NPCs and stuff in this, and like when I picture things as though celebrities were playing them.
Who would play Urquhart in the movie adaptation?
So I actually I
Yes.
talked about this in the Facebook comment. So I guess the answer would be Henry Rollins, because especially after his transformation, he reminds me of Zahir from The Legend of Korra.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
totally different than John Malkovich.
Yeah. Like with his like pure intentioned transformation, but still like obviously not a good person and like up to bad shit kind of deal. Like that's kind of how I view it. And he was voiced by Henry Rollins, so I figure it would be him.
See, I'm kind of seeing like, okay, so I'm thinking like Henry Rollins for post, for Cold of the Staff Urquhart, right? And I'm thinking for like at the fire meeting, angry all the time Urquhart. I'm viewing like Brock Lesnar. But like a red-faced, sweaty Brock Lesnar, like Brock Lesnar with his like build and everything, but with the look in the face like he just ate too many donuts, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So back to
With
So
that
we're back.
image in mind,
Yeah.
I'm going to set up a lens for this here.
be Brock Lesnar. Be Brock Lesnar.
I was about to say for this here fiasco, and then I was like, no, that's not the game we're playing.
No, that's just our banter and lives.
I am going to say that that the lens for this round is the table.
Ooh, very nice.
I'm gonna. I like that response. The chorus of "ooh."
So, okay, so someone take it away. Who's the table? What's the table? Remind us.
The
Uh,
go ahead.
The table's like I envision it as like kind of like almost like a council that has some kind of representation from every guild on it.
Yep.
That is brokering the new thieves code and handing down these, edicts and all this stuff. And I don't know, like a top brass that exists above all guilds.
Yeah, they kind of assumed power, it seems, after the whole Night of the Blood Moon and everything. And once they reestablished the code, they kind of got put into a more seated and a powerful position amongst the guilds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I view them as like if you fuck up, you will go see the table if you're like higher ranking or something. Like if you're a guild master and you're caught doing something, you face the table and they're ruling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost seems like the Night of the Blood Moon and all the assassinations and like just the havoc that wrought, it seems really kind of, instead of undermining them, strengthened them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's wars and things that happen that kind of like strengthen the ruling body of. Wait, what are we talking about? Anyway,
Yeah.
Well, was the table established prior to the riots? I thought
I don't know.
it came about because of.
The first time that it was mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the first time it was mentioned was in Frank's awesome messenger at that kind of meeting on the outskirts of town.
Mm-hmm.
That the messenger was like, this is coming down from the table. And so it's been kind of talked about and alluded to, but there's not a lot that's written down as actual canon for it at this point.
Yeah, they could have existed since before any of this started, or they could have been brought about because of that. That hasn't really been nailed down. In my mind, it seems like they had been around for a while, but maybe that's not true.
Yeah, like they were some kind of known thing, or
Right.
Yeah.
I think.
But I guess the Night of the Blood Moon wasn't long before that.
Yeah, I feel like the table would be maybe like the 3 or 5 guild leaders of like the top 5 guilds. So like sometimes table people will leave and drop out of power and stuff like that if their guild goes under and stuff. So that way, the more power you have as a guild, once you get someone on the table, then you have a lot of influence and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. You tell us,
Who
Emily.
knows? Yeah, let's find out.
All right.
Let's find out.
It looks like we have all kinds of questions we can answer here.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to say, so I'm going to add an event after Faroche is assassinated.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's where we left off.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Oh,
No, I mean it's
Still fresh.
It's good. The sorts of things that elicit that reaction of like, oh, not Faroche. Really,
God, it's like
really
you just
gets
killed
us.
Ned Stark, The only good thing in this piece of shit world.
Right. Now the game has begun.
Spoilers.
Wait, what happens to Ned Stark?
Don't act like you don't know.
I've only
But
watched
what
the
if we-
first 20 minutes of the first episode. so far, a king has come and they've all had dinner and everyone seems pretty happy. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I'm watching it as we play, and that's how far I got.
So I'm gonna say that after Faroche is assassinated, that he was on the table. He was a member of the table, and that Master Wa, who is one of the founders of the Thousand Hands of Fortune, is invited to take his place.
Whoa,
And
that's giving
he goes to the table
with the hope in mind of forming new alliances for the Thousand Hands.
So 1,000 hands are officially like no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
They're on the table.
now we're up there.
Yeah. Well, is he taking the place of as captain of the Shadowzar Watch, or just on the table?
I'm saying just on the table. I think that it's
Wait, Farosh was on the table?
yeah.
Yep.
He was now.
He was now.
Just now.
I mean, he might not have been
Okay.
before, but
And we never said he was not on a table, so
Well, we did say that he was the captain of the watch.
yeah, it can be both.
yeah.
Okay.
Shadows are corrupt as shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Ferosh was almost more of a peacemaker than anything. Seemed like.
Yeah. He was kind of like everybody's guy, you know?
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had a problem with Farosh. And now look
And
at
if they did, they got the fist.
Right.
Don't put it that way.
He turned his fist of destruction into a fist of compassion.
Clenched fist, open hand. Make some X-Men references up in here.
Well, at least he's not Farosh the Foot.
You get the foot.
Bam.
He could have been
That's how it
Farosh
kinda
the
works.
finger and just flip everybody off when he left places.
Alright, so
Ferosh the finger.
while you're typing
right.
that out,
Here we go. In the wake of the assassination, Master Wah of the Thousand Hands is invited to take a seat at the table and goes with the goal of forming new alliances for the Thousand Hands.
what's your opinion? Positive, negative?
Positive. I'm
Yeah.
going to make that positive.
I concur. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I am looking for Knight of the Void. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna say... oh. Huh, okay. I might want to do a... I might just want to do a scene for this.
Whoa.
So I'm setting it under the night of the blood moon, a night of riots and bloodshed that marked the end of many smaller guilds. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase the question, because it's going to be a little bit of a leading question, because I'm envisioning that the conflict was so widespread that it kind of like... No, maybe this just needs to be an event. And there's apparently 1 million loud motorcycles on my street right now.
Oh, it's Sunday night.
Oh,
Yeah, Drag Racing Sunday.
So if
Yep.
anyone ever
Good old
visits
stuff.
Portland, Sunday is the night for cruising around.
If you want loud people in loud cars.
Mm-hmm.
You never told me about that while I was out there.
Well, I know how you get. Okay, so this is I'm going back to an area that we have really explored a lot, and we have a lot of events in. The Night of the Blood Moon, a night of riots and bloodshed, marks the end of many smaller guilds. And then after that, the Squad of Fangs devolve into chaos as the riots proceed, brother turning on brother to vie for control. Having an interest in survival, Calamir and Kriven seek out membership with the Shadowbreakers. So it's happening after all that, but before Lord Zerbez, Master of Guilds, opens the coffers to enlist any fighters to quell the riots. And I'm thinking the riots scatter the table. Some prominent members being killed in the process. So this establishes that the table did exist then.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay.
Capital.
And it may have existed for a while too.
Which also
Who
kind of
knows?
like... I feel it makes the Night of the Void make a little more sense. because there's so much backlash on the Night of the Void, and so many Shadow Breakers were assassinated. That I feel like that kind of came from the table being like when the table got back together, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to kind of solidify their control. Anyway, next up is Brad, followed by Frank.
Mm. So you just killed off the table as it was, pretty much.
In the past,
I mean,
yes.
I'd like to explore what it was before that.
Killed some of them off, scattered most of it. Also, thank you for making that dark for me, because that was most assuredly dark. Like, I'm not viewing it as a total reset of the table or anything. I'm just seeing it as like they were out of power for like a few days as they got their shit together, and some people died. You know.
Yeah. There's a shift in power, and there's just been turmoil since then, you know?
What are we going to explore about it?
I am thinking that the Temple of Mitra originally worked with the table. Or
The Temple of Mitra worked for the table?
no, that they hired via, like through the table, hired these guilds to. No.
Yeah, because I'm seeing the Temple of Mitra hired. Like, I'm getting the feeling that when the Temple of Mitra hired the dozen or so guilds to go get the staff, that wasn't supposed to happen. As in, like, you hire one guild to get the job done, rather than just sending them all in there at once. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that if it was the table would have been like, no, that's not how that works. You're setting us all up for failure and backstabbing.
Exactly, that's where I'm going with that. Turmoil erupts.
Oh, so the table was in on it and just didn't care?
More like
Could be.
the table was upset, like the leaders of the representatives of the table were upset that the natural order of things were thrown out the window.
Okay, so they weren't in on it, but they found out about it and weren't happy.
Precisely. Not only that, though. I mean, some of them turned a blind eye and allowed their guilds to go about the mission anyway because it was such a valuable contract.
So, did the whole table know, or just some members of the table know? This is important to me. It paints it either, in my mind, it paints it either as the entire organization of the table was and possibly still is corrupt, or that there is corruption on the table, and those perhaps were the members that were killed during the riots of the Blood Moon.
That's what I'm thinking. The turmoil erupts within the table when it is discovered that the guilds were commissioned without the table's approval, or that the multiple.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? That
that the
The
temple
full approval of the.
commissioned multiple guilds to pit them against each other without the table's
Sanction.
sanction.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
without like the proper sanction. Some of them
Oh.
were like, we're just going to do this anyway.
So, okay, so let me see if I got this correct then, because this says a lot. The way that sounds to me is that a heist like that should go through the table, and then the table distributes it to a guild. But
Yes.
instead, the Temple Meecher went to a dozen guilds. They all agreed to it behind the table's back.
Yes.
But some members on the table knew this and just went with it anyway because members of the table are members of the guild. Wow, that's all some shit.
Nice.
No wonder they needed a new feast code.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to put up Frank, and Justin's going to be next.
Ooh.
And then Emily, you get to finish your lensing.
Something to do with the table.
This is going to be a great game when we start it next week.
Yeah.
I'm excited to actually start Conan the Thief.
I don't think I've ever done more backstory building collectively before a game ever.
Yeah, this has been really pleasing. Am I right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know more than I ever would.
Right, yeah. About all the backstory of characters and intrigue and whatnot.
How Ferocia Fist is super dead.
God, he had to bring that up again.
We already lost a character, and we like we're already feeling the pains.
Yeah, man. Is this what it's like when I kill NPCs you like? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I say I keep feeling bad. Like I'm feeling worse every time someone mentions it.
So who's up?
Hold on. Still just kind of.
Oh yeah, that's Frank. Right. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm taking so long.
No, obviously, I took 20.
Say, an event right after the period that's Urquhart rallies a splinter faction of the Shadowbreakers and declares the new thieves code anathema.
Okay.
Like first thing after that, the table more or less brands Urquhart as some kind of like rebel or like someone that's pretty much not to be trusted. And it results in more or less the disbanding of the Shadowbreakers.
Oh.
They literally
oh,
brand him.
Not brand him, no, like they didn't.
Damn.
Or, I don't know, maybe. No, we'll say no. Or, actually, can I put that event right after that the Lords of Shadowzar submit a counter declaration? I think that's a better spot for it.
And they break up the Shadowbreakers?
Yeah, and the Shadowbreakers is more or less disbanded into, like, you know, the other guilds that they formed, and some of them went with Urquhart. So, like, those are, like, his original acolytes, you know? He left with a small crew.
You know, this doesn't sound like a terrible idea right now. Like, Shadowbreakers have kind of been gasping along. We might as well just put the knife in the corpse, you know?
Right?
Like, they split, they went underground, they split again. Let's just... The horse is dead, Jim.
Yeah, just bury it. Yeah, and I'll say that's actually good. I would say.
Yeah, it makes us stop discussing them, so, yeah. All right.
Ulrika left, Master Wa, and new things, moving on.
Yeah.
All right, so you're seeing that as positive, Frank?
Hmm.
All right, so that leaves us at Justin.
Yeah.
And then Emily, you finish it up.
Okay.
So let's see. This is going to be an event after the wake of the assassination. Master Wa of the Thousand Hands of Fortune is invited to take a seat at the table. I'm going to say, recognizing the cult of the staff as a growing threat, the table publicly admonishes
Good word.
Urquhart and declares him a heretic and criminal.
That leads me to a little bit of a question that we might not even answer, that I might have to answer in the game itself.
Yeah.
And the question is, does Urquhart and the cult of the Staff Bearer continue to exist because they are hidden, or because they're too powerful now for anyone to actually do anything directly against?
I don't know.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
This being publicly admonished could just give them more power because it's now increasing people's awareness of it. So,
right.
you know,
And he did just reemerge. Like, what's up? I'm back.
Everyone remember on Facebook when they the meme of the sexy criminal mugshot and all the love letters you got from that? That might be Urquhart right now.
Yeah. His influence might be expanding rapidly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see Jarvis?
So, we can say the
All right.
cult of the staff gains more followers.
You seeing this as
Boom.
positive or negative?
Negative. The cult of the staff seems like bad juju.
I don't know where you're getting that from, really.
I mean, normally cults are such positive organizations that have good intentions and not crazy thoughts. So,
All right, so that leaves us with Emily to take us home and
All right.
create one or two nested things.
I am going to say that so I'm gonna do a scene with Master Wa taking with Master Wa taking a seat at the table and wanting to form new alliances for the Thousand Hands. I'm going to ask the question, what does, how does Master Wa,
bring the Thousand Hands and the Guild of Whispers onto good terms. And I'm thinking that this, because we know that, we're offering them an olive branch and about to work with them, but we haven't really gotten to how that happens. So this scene is gonna, it's gonna include members of the table. So Master Wa is gonna be one of them. He's a Thousand Hands representative. There will be someone from the Guild of Whispers. And then 3 other members of the table, either from other guilds or from, the political leadership of the city, the city watch, what have you.
So, what facts do we know about this?
So we know that Master Wa is the newest member of the table. We know that let's see. We know that at this point, public opinion is mostly moving away from internal divisions and toward concern about the cult of the staff. So maybe relationships are thawing out a little bit in this time frame. We have had in the recent past, we've had Lady Kareem as a member of the table. So she could be in this scene too. Baroche was the captain of the Shadazar Watch and was on the table, so potentially the new captain of the Shadazar Watch could be a member of the table at this point. Lord Zerbez is also a member of the table.
Okay, and so it's going to happen right after the wake of the assassination when Master Wa becomes part of the table, so we know that.
There's also
Actually,
Sheriff Hissakar is on the table as well.
If it's okay...
The Booze Guild.
Oh, good call. If it's okay, I'm going to make this happen just a little bit later, just after the table has put out this proclamation against Urquhart, and things are... It may be backfired. So I'm going to move the scene a little bit down to there so that people, so that that's kind of fresh on people's minds.
Cool. I think that is super legitimate. All right, so where's it physically taking place? What's going on? Are we there for a reason? Is there something characters intend to do? What happened just before the scene? Are there specific incidents implied in the event description, or the questions say whether this is before or after?
I'm going to say that this is happening at, Lord Zerbez's warehouse. He has, a really nice, meeting room, comfortably appointed meeting room upstairs of his warehouse. Not necessarily requiring with that he's there. He sometimes offers that up as a meeting spot. So he could be there, he could not. Events that happened beforehand, I think we've just talked about.
the kind of important, relevant events. Yeah, the characters I'm going to require are Master Wa and the table representative from the Guild of Whispers, who I think at this point is unnamed. And yeah, the other three are kind of up to us.
Anyone you want to ban or anything?
No. I mean, I would say, like, everyone should play a member of the table, and I think none of our player characters are table members, so we probably won't be playing our PCs, but
Legit.
that's about it.
What's the question we're trying to answer?
What did Master Wa offer the Guild of Whispers to, or how did Master Wa bring the Thousand Hands and the Guild of Whispers onto the same side?
Is this under the olive branch?
It's immediately, right now, it's immediately before the olive branch, just because the olive branch is the last thing, and I didn't know if we were able to have...
Oh, there's one under there already.
Yeah.
Well, and I also think it could be legitimate that...
Well, they could, broker a deal before the
And then-
actual...
Yeah, this could spawn the actual act of the olive branch happening and like what that entails and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Master Wa could be like, okay, this needs to happen. Here's the plan. And the plan is what? Yeah. Totally. All right, so that means we're going to pick some characters.
Woo!
Starting with Justin.
Ooh. I am going to play. I'm going to play Tariff Hisakar again, the leader of the Booze Guild,
Thank God.
Nice.
because he was fun last time.
The old half barrels.
Do you remember how to
Yep,
spell it?
Yep. I got it.
Okay, I'll let you do your thing.
They're all down at the bottom, James.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, that's right.
I think I'll play Lord Zerbez.
Oh, it's me?
Or are we going? Was I next?
Yeah, you're
Yeah, I
next.
think so.
Sweet. That's what I thought. Sorry.
I'm gonna go with... I'll go with Shenzhen again.
Cool. I was kind of hoping someone would go with one of the three. However, I was planning on it being me, so...
Well, we can switch, man.
No, it's cool. I'll totally
I can
pick
play
someone else.
Master Wong.
No, I got this. Oh, you know what? Yeah, Master Wa is still open. I'm taking Master Wa.
Nice.
Can I just pick a quad again? Is that not...
Hey, maybe he shows up, you know?
Damn it! Every time.
You weren't invited! God.
Don't you have anything to do?
I feel like at this point we all just put our hands on our hips and go, "Quat."
He just shrugs.
Ain't I a stinker? Like, oh, that wacky staff of cults. Or cults of staff. Staff of cults.
Staff of Colts.
Yeah. That's the temp agency that they use to find acolytes.
Are you good with wearing a robe?
Can you swing a quarterstaff?
Can you look semi-menacing? Okay, good enough. Go ahead, Charlie. You're in.
Great.
All right, Emily, what do you got?
All right. We don't have the Guild of Whispers person, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Shenzhen.
Yep, Brad got him.
Oh, no,
Shenzhen. Oh, right,
it
yeah.
doesn't have to be limited. If the Guild of Whispers is big enough, then they'll
Yeah,
have
that's
2
true.
representatives.
That's true. Um, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna play the new captain of the Shadowzar Watch. Captain names.
Captain Lenames.
Yes.
Captain.
Captain Kamuk.
Fisty.
Predecessor of the Fist, Captain
Say-
Fispy.
Captain Conqua? What?
Pamuk. Pameuk.
Oh, I like that.
Nice.
Oh.
Shenzhen of the 2.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, maybe there's a third guy, you know? They replaced him, maybe.
Yeah. They would have had to get a third because otherwise, how could they vote on things?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but I do.
Wow. Looks like we're stuck here for another day.
Slap fight.
All right, so what is everyone thinking? Tariff.
Hang on. What are we meeting? We're meeting about like what's going on with after the proclamation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He is he's worried about what's going on here, mostly because one of the tenets of being in the cult of the staff is a pledge of sobriety, which is not okay for Tariff.
Yeah.
So he's upset about that, but he doesn't let it get through his like suspiciously always jolly demeanor.
Suspiciously always jolly.
Yeah, Lord Zebes has got to make an appearance in this campaign.
Right.
I really fear
as far
I
as
won't
what
do
he's
justice.
like, Lord Zerbez is like a high-ranking member of the guild. I almost personally kind of picture him as being like plugged into the city and like
Oh, absolutely.
not like a totally shady dude, but actually like probably someone big in real estate and stuff, and like you know,
Yep.
like a politician of some sorts. And he's almost here as like a moderator and is more or less just trying to think, to keep the peace. He knows the Guild of Whispers came from the Shadow Breakers, and they had their problems, and he would just like to see things be good, and he's almost kind of like the highest ranking member. I feel like.
I enjoy how many of our like table members and things have been either like leaders of the town watch or also a politician. Like it really kind of sets the scene for this corrupt as hell city with its own little code.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right, what do you got, Shenzhen?
Shenzhen is well, for one, he's pissed.
Shenzhen of the two.
They had a good thing going while Urquhart was gone for however that undisclosed amount of time was.
Right.
And he
Half a week.
yeah, a lot happened. And he wants like hell to get rid of this dude. And unfortunately, the only way to do that is to band together. So he has to sit with all these like scumbags from the Thousand Hands, and so he's eager, but kind of disgusted. He never thought he would have to like deal with these people, but now he's in a room with them.
Desperate times, desperate measures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so Master Wa. And Master Wa looks like, I kind of want you to envision Brock Lesnar if he ate a lot of tacos. Master
God, trying to bring that back, aren't you?
So Master Wa is his thought processes are really just like, the Guild of Whispers. No one's gonna really argue with their power. I mean, they're practically the Guild of Shadows, and Guild of Shadows was the guild until they were outlawed. So, so Guild of Whispers, they're really powerful. Everyone that left every other guild seems to have joined the Thousand Hands of Fortune, which also kind of lends an interesting aspect to their name if you think about that. Like members from 1,000 guilds have joined us type thing. The guild
And we're all
of
out there
Luxury.
looking for fortune.
Yeah. So Master Wa is just thinking that the only way to take care of this growing threat, much like everyone else is thinking, is to get to 1,000 Suns and a Guild of Whispers on the same page. What do you got, Pamuk?
Captain Pamuk is thinking that he's nervous. He was we're maybe a week out from the assassination of his beloved friend and mentor Faroche. And he is not ready to be the captain of the watch when if it were just guild rivalries and corruption and petty crime in the slums. Oh yeah, he could do that in his sleep. But now there's some weird kind of, cult, religious aspect going on that he has to worry about, and it's making him nervous.
It's all fun and
Can I-
games till there's a cold involved.
Right?
I'd like to interject. When we were talking about celebrities playing, if everyone can just picture Faroche as Clint Eastwood in in his later years, like "Get Off My Lawn" type, but still a badass.
But a little embarrassing, maybe?
Sure, yeah, but no one's
He's got
gonna
respect,
call him out.
though, Yeah.
It doesn't matter now because he's dead.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cool, Frank, because if nothing else, during the intermissions for our actual games, I can just do tributes to the Fist in memory of.
If we're
Just
choosing
random pictures.
celebrities, then Tariff Hissikar is going to be played by Sam Rockwell because he can play anything.
Okay.
Yeah. That man just can act. I watched Galaxy Quest recently, so I'm all about him right now.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Right. Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent Zaphod. Back to the scene, though.
All right, so we've revealed some thoughts that we're all having. We have chosen characters. It looks like it is time to go.
All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
No, not like go on with the scene, Brad.
No, that's what Shenzhen says. Opening up the scene.
Classic Shen. Have a beer.
That's the extent of his
Yeah.
his involvement in the scene.
So, I guess Master Wa, since it seems that Master Wa is brokering this thing, will start off. Thank you all for meeting. Lord Zerbez, Thank you for the use of your hall.
Lord Zerbez just waves his hand in the air once, gives a nod.
First, Tariff, you've brought the requisite bottle, I imagine, and Master Wa smiles.
Of course. And I graciously, I myself get up and pour drinks for everybody because of this closed meeting and stuff, which is, yeah. And like I always say, if something's worth talking about, it's worth talking about over drinks.
Despite the name of the table, Shenzhen is in a corner in the shadow.
Whispering.
He takes a mug though.
All right.
With a silent bow of his head.
Lord Zerbez takes his glass of
It's
ale or his mug.
it's a strong barbarian mead. That like it's like of the few things those barbarians can do correctly, killing and brewing are both of them.
Pray that we only taste the latter, and
Yeah.
not the death of the former.
So it's strong but tastes like honey. It's basically like really strong mead. But it's delicious.
Master Wa
I
sips
trust
it
you, Tariff.
delicately.
You make the best.
So, care to talk about how people swearing over to the cult has been growing since we publicly spoke out against them?
Who could
I
have
say-
seen it?
I say we need to make an example. Round up some of those white-robed, shaven-head freaks and string them up in the central square. Hang them from their own entrails, I say. We've got to do something. And he's like, Pamuk is
Pamuk.
visibly sweating.
Pamuk.
She created the name. She can call it whatever she wants.
Oh no!
Quite honestly, I agree with you.
I wasn't trying to correct the name. I was trying to refer to the character. What's the name? I'm sorry.
Pamuk.
Pamuk. My apologies. Pamuk. Pamuk. Lord Zerbez. We've already tried to make an example. The proclamation has only grown their numbers. If we start making them martyrs, it's too much. People are seeing their power grow, and we had stability for just instance before people start flocking to the next big thing, the next powerhouse. We must go a different way.
I agree, and I believe that's why this man is here. And Lord Zerbez waves his hand over in the direction of Shenzhen. I think more importantly than these cultists is figuring out our own grievances. And as we usually do in this room, we let the people with their grievances air them. Shenzhen.
As he quietly walks, making everybody wait as he makes his way to the table, and eventually the light casts upon his face, and he says, many things have occurred since Urquhart's return. The Council of Three is no longer a Council of Three. We have lost one of ours to his numbers. There's been bad blood between all of us. Everyone at this table. And I agree, we must make a stop. We must stop him before this whole city is no longer recognizable. Being of the Guild of Whispers, I hear many things. And there are rumors of an ancient artifact that was discovered outside of Zamora. It was found by a regal, a royal archaeological mission. The rumors are that this caravan is carrying it back through Zamora, and their route shall bring it fairly close to Shadazar. This Urquhart is in the position he's in at the moment because of the Staff of Wonder. And I believe the only way we're going to be able to stop him is not only by banding together, but to have an artifact of our own. And I recognize that this is against our code, but I urge the table to allow this one opportunity to take out our enemy.
Master Hua nods as if in thought for a moment. Perhaps you're right, Shenzhen. But the Guild of Whispers cannot do it alone. Lord Zerbez, you have strong ties with the Thousand Hands of Fortunes. Is it so?
It is so.
I would like to broker a peace deal between the Guild of Whispers and the Thousand Hands. And this may just be how to do it. A mixed group goes to steal the artifact, and perhaps by lifting the part of the code about arcane items, perhaps we may get some support back again as well. It was never a popular decision among the guilds.
True.
It was meant to hamstring us. And Shenzhen immediately shakes his head. I apologize. We are not here first.
I understand. Lord Zerbez takes a long drought. We'll lift the ban for now.
Are there any that
I would like
dissent?
to see these.
The Thousand Hands, they're as cunning as they are handsome. I heard they're quite the guild. This is a good idea. I heard they're all millionaires and super hunky.
I'm not sure how they smell so good either, but they would be a welcome addition to this team. Does anyone dissent?
I believe.
No.
What about...
I think that we've all seen the chaos that division and competition has caused over the last few months. I urge you to band together if we're going to have any chance of stopping this fanatic.
But what do we do about the fanatics currently in the city? Do we rise up against them? That's still on the table.
Not yet. We bide our time. We make this heist and see what comes of it, and perhaps our answers will also be in that caravan.
Indeed. And that doesn't mean you can't go about your usual business of knocking certain people off just to get things done faster. I don't like these cultists just as much as you do.
But we must be careful. We must be selective.
Indeed. I'm willing to turn a blind eye. Once these cultists are dealt with,
No one
we'll figure out which parts of the code will be reestablished or not.
I fear that there'll be an outbreak of magic all at once, but once it settles down, it could prove beneficial.
Well, yes. Maybe this can stay as a need-to-know basis sort of thing, just so smaller members of guilds don't feel brash and feel the need to create yet another faction. Gosh, I can't remember all these names anymore.
If only
We
the
should
Caesar
form a
died.
guild of guilds.
No,
Keep
no more
track of all
guilds.
this.
Zerbus starts banging his gavel. No more guilds.
I'm afraid I must agree with him.
There's gotta be a better way.
Captain Pamuk, speaking
Well,
of blind eyes, do you think the Watch can put a blind eye to this heist?
Of course. I am aware of such an arrangement that my beloved predecessor, may he rest in peace, made with each of you. Certainly, I won't speak of these arrangements in a group setting, but rest assured, you all have experience with the Shadazar Watch and our willingness to turn a blind eye when it serves all's best interest.
I will be assured that some casks are delivered to the barracks during the time, just to be extra sure.
Your attention to detail is much appreciated, Tarif.
Well, then, it seems we are all agreed.
One stipulation. Jarvis, formerly of the Council of Three, is not to be touched.
Fair enough. We'll deliver him to the Guild of Whispers when we catch him. But I've heard things that he's become something of a right-hand man to Urquhart. So he might not be as easy to...
He means much more
capture
to
than I
me.
think. Fair enough.
Master Waz
Does anyone
curious,
dissent?
but knows better than to ask questions. I do not dissent.
I do not dissent.
Nor do I, although I can make no promises for the brash or unskilled of my men, but rest assured, should any harm come to him, the offender will be dealt with tenfold.
Jarvis shall not be touched.
Yes. We'll bring him to you.
Let's drink on it.
Let's.
As is
I
your
fill
way,
everyone's
Tarif.
glasses
As
again.
is your way. Lord Zerbez, you will take this to 1,000 hands and broker the deal. They will come to the Guild of Whispers to make peace.
Wait,
I will.
what?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Master
will.
Roy drains his glass.
Cool.
And I
As
think
does Lord Zerbez.
I think that
that answers it,
that answers the question. Yeah.
Now we're all buddies.
So, guess what this game's gonna start with?
The caravan heist.
Yeah.
Yay.
Wow,
Sweet.
this is great. I have such a campaign framework set up here.
Oh yeah, well, no, we just beat Microscope.
Yeah, seriously, like that is a nice full history right there.
Yep.
I feel like all the marks are hit really well.
Yeah, totally.
So, Brad, where did you say the caravan is going through the city itself, or you said outside?
Near.
Near. Okay, cool. That's okay. Rad. That totally works. Awesome.
It's like how trucks go near Gotham and expect everything to be okay.
Now
Poor suckers.
I guess this king just has, some hubris, and he feels that he's safe going past the city of thieves, but
The tolls are really cheap, so
he really he wants it quickly. So
I mean, you can't beat the scenery, you know?
yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Next week, we're going to start the Conan the Thief campaign proper using Modiphius's Conan, Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of. If you're interested in any of these systems, there are links in the episode description of where you can purchase some PDFs. If you're interested in some hard copies of the Conan books, which, honestly, they're beautiful. There's some great artwork in them. Yeah. On our website, pardon, underneath the Conan area at www.crumblingkeep.com. If you go to the Conan area of the website, you'll find some links where you can order them from Pals, which is just about the best bookstore in the entire world. Just a reminder, our podcast is dropping on Thursday. Crumbling Keep presents The Isles of Samsaris, and it's great. Let me tell you, it's great. But the first few episodes are going to be up then, so definitely check that out. And follow us on Facebook, Crumbling Keep, www.facebook.com/crumblingkeep. Find us on Twitter at Crumbling Keep. Anyone have anything else?
Just that I'm really looking forward to this thief campaign. I feel like we've got such a good little backstory here.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, and also, on that note, if you liked what happened at Microscope here today, you want to see this document, you want to set your own games in this little sort of world we just built, this is going to be a Patreon subscriber exclusive. So head on over to Patreon at patreon.com/crumblingkeep. And, you can check out the whole thing there. After the game, I will be putting up all of my scattered GM notes about it. If you want to read back through those will exist there too. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching.
Bye, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Woo!
Okay, love
Until
you, bye.
next time.
Good night.
Bye.